To get a divorce or legal separation, California law requires that you and your spouse or domestic partner give each other written information about what you own and what you owe, and about your income and expenses. To do this, there are a set of forms you need to fill out and exchange. This is called disclosure. The purpose of disclosure is to make sure that you and your spouse or domestic partner are aware of everything you each own and owe, separately and together, so that you can divide your property and debts equally. It also gives you the financial information you need to make decisions about child and spousal or partner support. Financial disclosures are required to get divorced or legally separated. The only two exceptions to this rule are if the service was completed by posting or publication, and the respondent has still not been located, then you do not need to complete the disclosures. Or if there's a court order that relieves the other party from having to complete the financial disclosures. You cannot finish your case if you do not exchange disclosures. If you leave anything out of your paperwork, either by mistake or on purpose, your case can be set aside or canceled. If the court finds out that you left anything out or lied on your disclosure forms on purpose, the court can order that any property you did not list goes to your former spouse or domestic partner. You can also be ordered to pay his or her attorney fees and fines. If you and your spouse are likely to have disagreements about these issues, what you write on your financial disclosure documents can affect the outcome of your case. It is very important to be accurate and complete, and a lawyer can help you figure out how to fill out the forms so that they accurately reflect your position. If you want specific legal advice about how to fill out your disclosure documents, talk to a lawyer. Here are some helpful links. Even if you and your spouse agree on everything, you will still need to complete your financial disclosures. It does not matter that you don't have anything, you aren't fighting, or you just want this to be an easy divorce. You still must complete and serve these documents. As we mentioned before, an attorney can help you fill out these forms. The attorneys can be hired for specific parts of your divorce. This is called unbundling or limited scope representation. You can attend workshop number 2 of our free self-help workshops for assistance with your financial disclosures. However, you must have completed workshop number 1, where you would have filled out your forms, had the other party served over 30 days ago, and completed the homework packet you received in workshop number 1. If any of these things have not been completed, you cannot attend workshop number 2. Our self-help workshops can assist you in completing all required forms. You can sign up for the workshops here in our portal. Select the Schedule a Workshop on the left. Under Category, select Divorce. Scroll down to How to Start a Divorce, Separation, or Nullity Case. If you haven't completed workshop number 1 but would like to, then select one of 3. If you have completed workshop number 1 and met all the requirements, then select 2 of 3. Now pick the workshop of your choice below. Our experienced staff will help you fill out your forms, respond to any questions that you have about your forms, and will give your forms a professional review. We will also print out the forms for you and prepare them for filing. This service is completely free, and our staff are skilled at guiding you through the process. However, please remember that the self-help staff cannot give legal advice. For that, you will require an attorney. Please be sure to fill out the homework packet that you received at the end of Workshop 1 completely, and that you bring all the required documents listed on the front cover of the homework packet before attending Workshop 2. Please understand, if you do not bring the items listed in your packet, you will not be allowed in the class. The homework packet for Workshop number 2 will ask you to estimate the values of all assets and debts for you and your spouse or domestic partner, or both of you, that were acquired before the marriage during the marriage, and after separation. You will also need to complete the homework packet section about your most recent job and your monthly household expenses. If you are unsure about a question in the homework, please do the best you can. If you will be completing the forms on your own, download this forms packet, which includes the forms you will need. The following slides will give you information on each of these forms. Fill out your forms, which are the Declaration of Disclosure, Form FL-140, the Income and Expense Declaration, Form FL-150, and two of the Property Declaration Forms, FL-160. One will be for separate property, and one for community property. You will include the following attachments. With the Declaration of Disclosure, attach your tax returns for the last 2 years. With the Income and Expense Declaration, attach your pay stubs for the last 2 months. For the two Property Declaration Forms, for separate and community property, you will need to attach copies of the following types of documents: your current bank account statements, mortgage deed of trust or title to your house, car loan, lease statements or title to your car, credit card statements, and the latest retirement and pension plan statements. For a complete list of the documents that will need to be attached to the FL-160, please refer to page 4. You will need to fill out 2 different property declarations, one form for community property and the other for separate property. Itemize all assets and debts for both or either of you. Items that were acquired before the marriage or domestic partnership are considered separate property. Items acquired during the marriage or domestic partnership are considered community property, and items acquired after the date of separation are also considered separate property. On the separate property declaration form, include all assets and debts acquired by you or your spouse or domestic partner before the marriage or after the date of separation. You may be wondering about gifts or things you have inherited. Gifts received during the marriage, or anything you inherited during the marriage, are generally considered as separate property. On the community property declaration, include all assets and debts acquired by either or both of you during the marriage or domestic partnership. There are some exceptions to these rules. For example, some assets or debts may be partly separate and partly community. These types of assets and debts would go on both property declarations. So you may want to talk to an attorney if you are unsure of how to categorize a certain debt or asset. The court has the power to divide those assets and debts that are community property equally. The court also has the power to determine if certain assets and debts that you or your spouse listed on your initial paperwork are separate property. These assets and debts are not divided like your community property. They are confirmed to you or your spouse or domestic partner. Copies of the following documents must be attached to these property declaration forms. This list is also found on page 4 of your property declaration form FL-160. If you are having your spouse served with your financial disclosures by mail, you may want to black out sensitive personal information, such as Social Security numbers. The Income and Expense Declaration must be fully completed and provide current information on a party's monthly income and monthly expenses. Current means the form has been completed within the last 3 months, providing no facts have changed. You should attach 2 months of your most recent pay stubs to this form. This declaration should be updated at any time while the case is pending if the information changes significantly. Odyssey Guide and File provides a guided interview that will help you complete your income and expense declaration. Now that you have completed your forms, you can have them professionally reviewed before filing. The Orange County Superior Court Self-Help Center offers many free services including document review. Although they cannot provide legal advice, they can make sure you filled out your forms properly before you move ahead with your case. You can also hire your own lawyer to review your papers or get legal advice, either with your entire divorce case or just the parts of it that you may need more help with. This is called limited scope representation or unbundling. Here are some links that may prove helpful. Now that your forms have been professionally reviewed, you will need to have someone else serve your spouse or domestic partner with your preliminary declaration disclosure. Have a person 18 years or older who is not a party in the case hand deliver or mail a copy of all your forms with pay stubs and tax returns attached to your spouse or domestic partner. Fill out the declaration regarding service of declaration of disclosure and income and expense declaration, which is Form FL 141. The FL 141 and your FL 150 with 2 months of pay stubs will need to be filed with the court, so make a copy of these forms and take them to the clerk's office at the Lamoureux Justice Center. You have now completed Step 3 of the Dissolution of Marriage Case Tracker